In for the Night is a podcast that discusses movies, random topics, and gives you an excuse to just stay in for the night. You actually matched it.
I did.
Like, I was listening to, I think, Pray for something. The last episode. Pray for sleep paralysis. It really is. It's real hard.
Wow.
You know what?
You are struggling today.
My allergies are affecting me.
Oh, so it's affecting your speech?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Are you going to be a hater today? You're obviously drinking Haterade.
I am drinking Haterade. It's the red flavor.
It's red like anger.
Hate.
Okay. Disdain.
I don't know what that means.
What I feel for you.
Love and affection?
Sure.
Yay! I know you're lying.
Great. Okay. Now.
Awesome. Moving forward. Now we cleared that up.
Great. Is it clear? Uh-oh.
Oh, we got a growl.
Shots.
Damn. 1.8 seconds in.
1.8 seconds.
Yeah.
1 minute, 8 seconds.
Oh, 1 minute, 8 seconds. See, I was close.
You have no time management there.
I don't need to.
What is it called? Time.
Look at you. You're trying to talk crap and you can't.
I was.
Because you're struggling with your words.
I will turn this podcast around. Don't make me come back there.
Well, you were able to say that pretty well. So you're getting better. You're getting better. Anger helps, I guess.
I hate you.
Is this a
so
therapy
much.
session?
That was loud.
That was loud.
Real loud. Sorry for his annoyingness.
That was a good echo. I like it.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Katie.
No, you're hard to talk.
Hard to talk. Is that my Native American name?
It's your new name now. Hard to talk.
Because we watched like Bone Tomahawk,
We
which
did.
had Native Americans in it.
Man, it was gruesome. I mean, sort of. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I was expecting a lot more.
I was expecting a lot more too. But that one was quite a bit.
We will talk in detail about it.
Oh, Jesus. Poor Nick.
What's your name?
Poor Nick.
Poor Nick. Instead of Rich Nick.
G-Dog.
We're going G-Dog still?
Oh, I forgot to do the hand gestures. G-Dog.
I don't know what that means.
Nothing.
Okay, so he has all 4 fingers out, but his ring fingers are in, being held down by his thumb. What does that mean?
It's a W.
West Side? I can't even do that.
I can do it really well with this one. This one is kind of a
hand.
struggle. Oh,
okay.
There we go. Bam.
You probably shouldn't do that.
I'm at home. Who's seeing me?
Me.
Okay.
Okay.
What, are you like a gang leader or something?
You don't know.
I don't. But or are you a gang leader or something?
On the weeks you have off, like on the weeks you work, you don't even know.
You're like, doing your whole gang leader roles and stuff. Then we should be millionaires right now. What are you doing, slacker?
Do you think gang leaders are millionaires?
Fuck yeah, they are. If
That's
they know what they're doing.
mobsters.
If they know what they're doing, they can be.
Like, I have actually a bank account with millions of dollars in it.
You probably do.
Just hidden.
You probably do.
Sweden,
Sweden or like France or like Greece.
Sure.
That's why I want to go there so bad so you can take some money out
Just stuff it in a duffel bag.
and pay off some shit when you come back.
Why would I pay off your shit?
No, I said pay off your shit.
Oh, yeah.
See? You just admitted
It's locked
it.
up. It's locked up in like foreign accounts.
Foreign accounts. So there's more than one now.
I'm not going to talk about it. All right. How was your week? How was your week?
It is great. I'm off this week, so all the time when I'm off, it is a fun time.
Because all you do is play video games.
Yeah. And watch a movie with you and do the podcast. I do other things. And I clean the bathrooms. I gave the dogs a bath. And they already need another one because they were playing in the dirt today.
Oh, there's another rumble. There's another rumble.
Sounded like someone was eating.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. So that's 2 and almost 5 minutes.
Almost 5
That's
minutes.
slacking. That's slacking. Y'all need to get it better. How's your week?
Pretty good. My eyes are itchy right now. My allergies suck. And I had my echocardiogram today. Had an echo.
Which you won't hear anything for like a week.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Like, I sat there, it was really awkward because there's these like really old people sitting in the waiting room just talking about how old they were and what they needed done. And I was just sitting there trying to read my book on my phone, and I'm like,
That's going to be you in some years.
and then this guy was like, well, you guys fucked up my surgery. Just kidding. Here's a check. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And then, like, I got grouped in with all the old people. So I'm, like, the only relatively young person there. These old meaning, like, 75 and older. Like, they were old. This guy had a cane. And this woman came in, and she listed off 4 names. So it was, like, 3 of the old people, and then my name. And I, like, stand up, and I walk over, and she's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Catherine. She's like, okay. And then she's like, we have to wait for the stragglers. And so, like, these, like, old people hobble in after me. And I'm just like, cool, okay. And she's like, actually, you see that? Like, do you see that door with the sign on the top? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, just go in there. It might be a while. And I'm like, cool. So I walk in there and I go, like, sit down or stand in front of the window. And I'm just standing there looking around. Nobody's there because I guess it was, like, their lunch break or something. And the lady comes back with, like, all these old people in tow. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm here. I feel really out of place. And I just want it to be quiet, but that's definitely not what's happening.
Well, no.
And so then I just sit there and I was like, okay, then I had to sign a paper, and I sat there maybe for another 5 or 10 minutes, and I was reading, and this lady comes in, she's like, Catherine, and she was like looking at the old people, and I was like, oh, that's me. And she's like, oh. she was like, and then we go in the room, and there's like this little, you know, like how they used to have like what are they called, hospital gowns?
Yeah.
They don't have those anymore. It's paper now.
Well, yeah. It's like a paper gown.
Right. I've never needed that. Like,
Well, when's the last time you went to the damn hospital?
a long time.
Clearly.
So it was not a full gown. It was a half gown. So it was like a crop top hospital gown.
It was showing your lady bits?
No, I had my leggings on. I'm not taking off my leggings. I'm not doing an echocardiogram on my
what the hell's
legs.
happening?
So she was like, okay, put it on like a vest and then cover yourself up with a blanket. And in my mind, I was like, oh, I need to expose my chest. So I'm going to put the towel over it. And I'm like, over my legs, right? And she's like, no, over your chest. But my mind was, it's going to be there so it doesn't get like goo on it. Because I had the petroleum jelly stuff all over. Like, she was just using it to rub the little sonogram. What is it? Whatever the ultrasound thing is.
I don't know what it's called. Don't look at me. I'm not a professional.
I'm struggling with words like that.
You clearly are.
Anyway, so she's like looked at me like I was a stupid bitch. And I was like, I'm not stupid, I swear. It was just a good question because logically in my brain, I would cover up my lower bits so that you could have access to my top bits. But
no. You needed me there. It's okay. I would have helped you.
And it was really quiet, and I was like, there's nothing to do. They didn't have a TV on. They didn't have music on. And I was just sitting here.
There's nothing wrong with quiet, babe.
If I had my book, I would have been fine.
Sometimes people need quiet. And I think sometimes you need quiet.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly doing something all the time. Nothing wrong with quiet.
Are you done?
Quiet is peaceful. Like at work, what is really annoying for me is like, it's obviously I work in a base maintenance facility and it's super loud like all the time, especially when you're running the APU or turning on hydraulics or doing something else on the plane. It's just fucking loud in the hangars. So what I think is the most peaceful thing is I put on my ear protection, my over the ear protection, and it just like cancels out so much noise. It is peaceful. I can hear myself think. I can hear myself talk. Even though I don't want to talk to myself. But it is so nice. Like, it makes you want to tear. It's so nice. You should try it sometime. It's peaceful.
Then the voices in my head will start talking.
Now I get why you don't do it. I just realized that. Thank you. Yeah, now we're here. I got it.
I'm just like waiting for you to finish your story, so I'd be like, all right, cool.
Well, remember about the voices. Oh, fuck.
Right,
that's right. Shit.
Let's put on Family Guy. It's
My
great.
bad. Yeah. Put on something, please.
I'll sit there and
Before they start telling you to kill me or something. Yeah, put them on.
They shout that.
Kill him. Like, what was it, Deadpool, when he's talking about Dopender?
Good.
About Dopender's cousin. Oh, shit.
You're a very bad man. Kill him.
And he has
Such a good movie.
supersonic hedgehog natonic.
Wait. No, fuck. It's so long. It's so long.
I thought I was bad.
Super
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles. Supersonicness.
Nega
Warhead something.
Yeah, Nega Teenage Warhead, some shit like that. You remembered it for a while because I thought I was saying it completely wrong. The only thing it's supersonic. Don't think it.
No, Sonic.
It's Teenage something Warhead. Something Teenage something Warhead. Anyway, and he had.
I like how we're struggling with
We
that.
cannot. Yeah, we're gonna get it. Damn it.
No, we
People
won't.
are probably shouting it. It's this, you fucking idiots. But we don't know.
You guys choose to listen to us.
Yeah.
But,
oh my goodness, that was great. Well, meat and potatoes.
I'm still struggling. I want to know. All right,
You can always look it up, babe.
meat and potatoes. We're probably forgetting something. I don't
What
know.
are we forgetting?
I have fucking no idea.
Why are we forgetting anything? We usually go on a rant for like 20 minutes before, and then we talk about the movie. We do a topic, and then we talk about something else randomly, and then it's done. Last week, you almost forgot to do the whole closing thing.
Sometimes you can do it too.
Or not.
And this is why we need a video. We need to start.
What happened? Oh.
We need to start recording our
Look
faces.
at this. See, this actually got really good reviews. These are probably the best, like all around. These are probably the best ever, especially your UHF. Movie is
Sit here.
I wish y'all could have seen her face.
Okay, so we are dabbling with the idea of doing YouTube episodes as well, because it's more so my facial expressions, the stupid shit he says.
I don't say anything stupid.
All the words you say are stupid.
Everything that comes out of your mouth.
Your voice makes me want to punch myself in the throat. Like,
oh my goodness, my stomach hurts. What is happening? Go away. Okay, there we go. All right, so.
as he tries to
Oh
compose
my
himself.
god! All right, I think I'm good. I think maybe I don't know. Probably gonna start laughing in like 30 seconds. All right, so Bones.
I just punched myself in the throat.
So Bone Tomahawk, ladies and gents, came out in 2015. Western horror.
Western, not Western.
Western horror.
Western. No.
No.
Say it right.
Quiet. Arrow quiet.
Western.
Oh,
fuck you.
All right, so we have a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb Bizzle.
Again, your voice makes me want to punch myself in the throat.
Do it, but hard. Was that a love tap on your throat?
I had a pulmonary cardio thing on my neck today.
Oh, poor baby. Did it hurt?
No.
All right, then. No. You could have lied and said yes.
It was painful.
Oh, well, a little too late now.
Shit.
We have a 91% on Rotten Potatoes, and we have a 91% on flicks.com.au. Against some
Australian, yeah.
That's what I just said.
Australian.
Why are you trying to copy me?
It's Australian.
Your voice makes me want to punch myself in the dick.
Great.
Great?
I'm so confused.
I wish I could remember. Oh, well, I don't know if I should say that. It's what you said earlier. I was like, do I make you sore down there? No.
Like, if you don't realize this, we're very abusive verbally to each other.
That was so funny.
But more so in jest. We don't intentionally try to make each other feel like shit. It just happens.
Oh, that was great. So I don't know what we were talking about this morning. I was like staying up late like I always do. I didn't go to bed until like after 12 p.m.
No, it was last night when I was going to bed.
Oh, yeah. Last night when she was going to bed. And we are talking about something. I was
I was sore. My body was hurting. My like abs were really sore because I did abs hardcore like on Sunday, and everything else was hurting. And so then this spurred him on to say,
I was like, "Oh, is your vagina sore?"
No.
And it was very hilarious.
he like looked at me for a second, like kind of hurt, but then the reality of the words.
It's the way she said no was just like,
she's just like, "Are you
no.
stupid?"
It's the funniest fucking thing ever. Back to the synopsis.
Penis, peni.
Oh, I'm not there yet, actually. Oops. So 84% like this movie of Google users. Look at that.
Good Burger has more.
No, I'm saying all around. So 7.1, 91%, 91%, and 84%. Like, this is all around been like the highest.
Okay, so that is the highest, but Good Burger has 87% on Google users. So
wow.
Fuck you.
And fucking whatchamacallit, I think Deadpool or something we watch has like 90 or 89 or 90 something. I can't remember what we watched. It was something that was
There's
good.
stuff.
Now we're to the synopsis.
Penis, peni.
In the Old West, a sheriff, Kurt Russell, his deputy, Richard Jenkins, a gunslinger, Matthew Fox, and a cowboy, Patrick Wilson, embark on a mission to rescue 3 people from a savage group of cave dwellers. They probably had to smell like straight, like nastiness, the cave dwellers did.
All of them smelled like straight nastiness because in the wet, we'll talk about it. Okay.
No. Initial release was October 1st, 2015. What? Director is S. Craig Zillar, but this is weird. It says box office was 475,846 USD and budget was 1.8 billion.
Damn, it sucked.
There's no way.
It lost money.
There's no way.
It lost money.
But all the high reviews no, I don't believe it. No
2015. What happened in 2015? Anything like significant?
Fuck if I remember.
Because that one we watched that was really good, and it was done in 20. Oh, Guns Akimbo was in 2020.
Yeah, but that was in 20. That was right like when
during
COVID started.
happened.
No, I don't think 2015. I don't think so.
Was the world trying to end? I don't know.
The world is always trying to end. Like that's like every 30 minutes or.
Oh, look, there it goes again.
I don't know. That doesn't make. That's weird. I'm gonna have to look that up. Why it only made. Yeah, even right here on Wikipedia, it says budget was 1.8 million, box office was 475,000.
But it's a Western, so...
Wait, but I never even heard of this, so did it even... Oh, it might... Because it says Flix AU, it might only came out in Australia.
Oh.
Because I never heard of this movie in the United States.
Because it might have not... Because sometimes they release it in... But why... Oh, because you know why they did it in Australia? Because they fucking filmed it in Australia. It's all desert.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, not all desert. I mean, this, like...
It's mostly desert.
What is it? North, South Wales?
And then, like, have the caves and shit. Yeah, that might be why. Because I was like, it got a lot of good reviews. Like, there's no way it would be...
So, yeah, because, like... I know a lot about Australia. I've been to Australia. I know a lot about Australia because I used to work for a travel agency that specializes in Australia. So, I'm not an idiot. Western Territory, Northern Territory, I'm mostly... desert. That's where the dingoes are, and
the dingo
ate my baby. And then where Melbourne is, as well as where Cairns and Port Douglas, Sydney, that is where the forests are. Great Barrier Reef, Daintree Rainforest, all that fun stuff. So yes, I'm not an idiot. I know where the shit is.
Okay, so a little bit of recap, or what is it like? Fixer-upper or whatever the fuck you want to say on that. So the premiere of Bone Tomahawk took place at a fantastic fest on October 1st, 2015. RLJ Entertainment gave the film a limited release on October 23rd, grossing over $480,000 in the theater sales and $4.32 million in home media sales against $1.8 million budget.
Okay, so
it was only released in a film festival.
That makes sense.
And then, it made a lot of money, I guess, like from people buying it, like renting it and shit.
Redbox or something.
The film received mainly positive reviews and praise for the screenplay and directed and performances, and ensemble cast through the runtime. Runtime was criticized. Oh, runtime was criticized.
It was long.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, so
need to be.
So we're gonna go to your question. They probably smelled. Actually, in the Old West, a lot of people smelled because it was desert, so it was hard to like use your water. So they would have limited bath times. Most of the time, they would only bathe once a month. Yes, and then if there was multiple people in the family, guess what? They shared the bath water. So it would go like kind of in prayer, like it goes from the Midwest to the West, where if you had a family, that you'd have one like bath water, like big tub of bath water, and then the father would go first, then the mother would go next, and then the children through age. And so when they got to the youngest, that bath water was nasty,
like super nasty.
And so they just had to use what they had because who wants to go lugging 5 million gallons of water around? So they had to use it. So yes, they did probably smell, including the cave dwellers that were in there.
No, cave dwellers definitely smell because they probably never showered.
Yeah, for them. But normal Native Americans, they were usually smart, and they are smart, and they would be around places where they had streams or rivers or something nearby, so they would actually bathe more frequently than the actual fucking Western people.
Well, I'm sure in desert it would be hard to find a watered stream, probably like dried up.
Yeah.
Probably never rained. Geez, that's interesting. I was like, there's no way that movie only made $480,000.
So that makes a lot more sense, but I can see where it was a film festival movie, though. I can see that 100% because the camera skills sucked.
Yeah.
Because it was shaky and it was making me sick.
I didn't notice that.
I did a lot.
Well, they're also in the desert where it was like rocky and bumpy.
So I wanted to make a point to mention this. I felt like a fucking dumbass because the cowboy who is Patrick Wilson, I was like, I know him from someplace. Like,
I was saying the same thing.
I was like sitting here, I'm like, he's so familiar. Where is he fucking from? I know it. And I'm going to get pissed off. And so I looked it up and I'm like, God damn it, Patrick Wilson, you're in the fucking Conjuring. Which is like
Conjuring.
My favorite like scary movie of all time. So
all the Conjurings,
like all of them, and then some. Like he's in Annabelle, he's in the Conjuring universe, and so that just pissed me off that I'm an idiot. And then I kept on, instead of Kurt Russell, I was thinking, not Russell Wilson, Russell Crowe. I kept on thinking Russell Crowe, and I know it wasn't right, but I was like Russell Crowe.
Wow.
In my head.
No, doesn't look anything like Russell Crowe.
So I don't like Western movies, and I was not happy to watch this, but we did. And so when we started this, I was like, fuck the plot, fuck this. I was going to write down all the injuries and deaths because that was more interesting to me. And then the plot came better. But
because like the beginning it was a little weird.
Slow.
Because they started off with like these like savages. Oh,
so no. Like, okay, so actually, as soon as it opens, we have a death and injury.
Yeah, the guy getting his throat cut.
So there's one guy's, holy shit, they slit his throat. That's what I wrote. Right as soon as the scene opens, this guy is cutting this guy's throat because they're stealing from this like group
camp or
whatever, carpetbaggers or whatever. And so they're stealing stuff, but they didn't, like, one didn't die completely, so he had a stone through his head. He had a stone to his head.
Oh, yeah. He didn't apparently cut deep enough. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, he didn't cut deep enough because you have to slice all of the veins. Not necessarily. You just have to do one really well, but apparently he didn't do good enough because his knife was like 3 inches deep, big. So it wasn't even that big. But anyway, get a bigger knife, dude.
As a knife, she means penis.
But that one, was David Arquette. So I was like, I knew who that was.
And the other guy is the guy from Rob Zombie's movie. I can't remember the name of the Devil something. not Devil's
Oh,
Advocate.
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm smart. Thank you, Rob Zombie.
That guy is.
He's
from
coming out
there.
with a new movie soon.
Is he? Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
So these two dudes who are stealing from these people in the desert wander off because they hear horses. Oh crap, there's horses coming. So they start running in a direction. We need to hide in those rocks. And then they randomly go through this burial ground ritual area.
It's the cave dwellers area.
So later you'll find out they're called troglodytes.
Yep. Hey, you said that perfect.
I'm not stupid. Troglodytes, by definition, are a person who lives in a cave. So
Nice.
we can call them troglodytes or henceforth trogs.
Trogs. They're frogs.
They're froggy trogs. Fifi is near us, so y'all get to take another shot.
Shot time.
And so this is when the troglodytes or the trogs come and attack them and literally slit the throat of the big dude. Well, he had
got an arrow.
And then he slammed him with the bone tomahawk.
Yeah. Like, he got it pretty gruesome. I mean, he looked like he was... Oh, forgot to mention, while they were walking, the big guy, the guy from Rob Zombie's movie, he uses his gun to scratch his...
Dick.
His penis area. I just thought that was... Because he could have easily... Oops.
It was like Guns Akimbo.
Yeah.
Like, please don't shoot my dick off. Please don't shoot my dick off. Except he wasn't. He was just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't.
But
he
the
did
thing
not
is-
have his arms tied.
The guy was comfortable around guns, so obviously he wasn't going to shoot. Whereas Guns Akimbo
Yeah, that's
was
true.
not comfortable around
He was
guns.
not
And he was bolted to the fucking gun.
Every time he shoots, it hurts. That's rough.
Okay. So this is where they die, and then all of a sudden it's 11 days later, and I'm like, when is this going to get better? It does eventually. So 11 days later, and so this is when we meet pretty much our main characters. So we have the cowboy, we have his wife, we have the cowboy who's Patrick Wilson, who is named Mr. O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer.
I'm smart. I remembered that. Okay, so, and then we have the sheriff, who is Kurt Russell. Then we have Chicory, who is the old dude, who is the pseudo deputy. He was like the second deputy, because the first deputy named Nick was the first deputy. So Samantha's the wife. Then we have Arthur, who is the cowboy, Patrick Wilson. And then we have Buddy, who is the criminal who randomly shows up at the bar.
Well, you didn't say Broder.
Broder.
He's a guy in all white.
Broder. Yeah, he was creepy to me. But so let's get into the first kind of main scene of this. So the Buddy, the guy, I can't remember what his real name was, like Purvis or something stupid like that, where he was burying the bag that he stole from the people in, like, not very deep. And so this is where Chicory sees this guy and he's like, oh shit. And so he's going to talk to sheriff and he's like, Sheriff, I want to tell you a fun story. And the sheriff's like, okay. And he's like, can I have some of that nasty ass tea?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it's not tea, it's soup. Oh, it tastes like corn because it's corn chowder. That was...
I thought it was funny. The way you said it now was dumb, but it didn't sound
It's
like
exactly
that.
how they was said.
No, it wasn't.
It was exactly how it was said.
No, it
I just
wasn't.
did it quicker instead of
So-
20 minutes of banter.
Please do not take this movie from her because she doesn't like Westerns, okay?
Western.
Obviously, the movie got good reviews.
It's not that bad. I just...
The only
hate
thing
Western.
was that it was a long movie. I mean, I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it.
When
But
movies take forever to get into it, that's what Westerns are. Until you get into it. Then it's like, okay, then I can enjoy it. But it was... Anyway.
I mean, they needed to do it because
So in this, Chicory tells a story, and he was like, I was on a ramble. I usually do a short ramble, but this time I did a long one because I wanted to put flowers on my wife's grave.
but that's how he is. He's just a rambler.
Yeah, but you ask, what is a ramble? That is a walk. When you take a walk, that's what they call it. I'm going to ramble.
I think that's so weird.
Or when we ramble, talk like over, like a lot.
Yeah. See, that's what I
Like
thought
what-
ramble was.
That's what we do. And so this is piques the sheriff's interest, and he's like, okay, let's just go see the dude in the bar, which is called the Learned Goat.
Yeah. I was like, there's a weird name for that bar. And the bartender's already telling the sheriff, like, stop scaring all my patrons. It's already scarce in here as it is, basically. Because There's like one person drinking.
Right. And then, so this is where the buddy is, who's Purvis, who's the guy who stole everything. He's there drinking, and the sheriff's asking him names, and he's like, what is your name? Well, it took you long enough, kind of thing. And yeah, and so then Buddy, like, decides to run away, and then the sheriff pulls his gun and shoots him in the leg.
Well, he said he was going to shoot him if he tries to run, I think.
Something like that.
Something like that. So he shot him.
Well, it's true. And then he passed out. And so this is when he needs a doctor. So the original doctor, who usually does all the fixings, is drunk off his ass. And so he goes to the house of the cowboy, which is named Arthur, and his wife, Samantha. And Samantha, who is apparently like kind of a nurse, she's fucking her husband, but then she fixes his leg because he fell off a roof during a storm and he broke his tibia.
Because he didn't want to listen to her.
Right, because he's an idiot, which she calls them all at the end, which is great. So they shot so she comes running. Another thing that you mentioned here, which is kind of funny, they just leaves doors unlocked back then. Yes, up until about the 1950s. Yeah, because
the Broder comes and asks for Mrs. O'Dryer to go take the bullet out of this guy's leg, Buddy's leg, and obviously, I think the sheriff's not there. Like, she leaves, and he's like, "Well, bye," and then she just closed the door. You don't hear anything lock. You don't hear the keys jingle. So that's why I was like, they just fucking leave doors unlocked? Like, what the fuck? No wonder there was so much death and destruction back in the day.
I mean, even till the 1950s, people left their doors unlocked.
So dumb.
I mean, it was so safe. Dumb. Nobody cared until
it's not safe. That's why obviously serial killers are fucking a mist. I mean, I don't think there's as many now.
No, there's actually more. It's just they're more in secret.
Really?
They're just getting away with a lot more shit.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're playing the system better, huh?
Who was it? Israel Keys. Israel Keys, he was one of the most notorious serial killers because he would just travel. He would go around the United States. He would find a place that he thought would be good to break into, and he had rules. It's like it has to have a separate garage, an attached garage. It had to have no dogs, and he had a list of stuff. And so he'd go scout it out, and then when he found a place he liked, he would go ahead and bury a kill kit, which consisted of rope, hammer, axe, bucket, and he'd bury it near the house. And so he would go back maybe 6 months to a year later, go back to the house, dig up his kill kit and kill them. So it's
Jesus.
Shit like that. He wasn't caught for 15, 20 years. So he was just going around killing people.
Wow.
The end.
But how would he get in?
Break in.
Oh, because they didn't have any.
Because he would go there and scout it out.
But if he didn't go back for a year, I mean, they could easily get a dog or kids or...
I mean, he would still scout it out a few days before and just make sure
it's the same.
Same, and he would do that. But
wow.
Anyway,
I just think that's crazy. They didn't lock any doors.
Long story short, they didn't lock their doors. So this is
have lock.
Okay, so we have two injuries. So we had the holy shit, they slit their throats, and then we had the shot in the leg, and now we have the third gruesome moment where she digs into his hole and pulls out his bullet.
Oh yeah, he's passed out, and you just hear squishing noises, squashing noises. Is that what they say in the movies?
Squishing.
No, it's
squashing.
SQELCH or some shit.
Squelching.
Yeah, it would have that squelching. But yeah, she's digging his leg, gets a bullet out, and then he wakes up for a second and then passes back out. And then it's into the next morning. Everybody thinks it's hunky-dory.
Okay, but this is when Ty got upset because one of the black dudes in the movie was walking out and he was like, "I'm coming, ladies," and he's talking to the horses.
That's right.
And he thinks it's just the horses freaking out because of an animal in the shelter or the stable or something. But no, there's a person and
people.
Well, person.
Yeah,
okay, so and Ty was like, "Man, is the first guy to die a black guy?" And then I had to remind multiple white people died before this dude. So no, he is not the first black guy to die. But he is. But it was one of the good ones, and so.
But it was probably the most gruesome, though.
Yeah, no, it was not. And so he gets stabbed in the stomach with the tomahawk. the Bone Tomahawk, which apparently is super duper sharp, and then he gets slammed in the head, and then they go, and this is when
Wasn't quite. It was a little bit worse than that.
that's it.
They cut his throat and then hit him in the head.
Okay, sure.
They sliced his stomach open when he was on the when they got there, and they showed all the guts on the ground.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
he got it pretty rough.
So that was number 4. This is number 4. Yay.
Yay.
Number 4. And out of 15 people, so we're going to go over 15 different injuries of
15.
scariness. And so this is when the sheriff, so it's the next day in the morning, and Arthur's like, where the fuck is my wife? He didn't actually say that. He's like, Samantha, Siam. And he's walking around trying to figure it out, actually hobbling around because he's broken. And
the bartender guy goes to the sheriff's house and was like, hey, sheriff, like basically like, I need to talk to you. And he's like, it's pretty important. So then sheriff excuses his wife away. I don't know why she can't hear, but whatever. And then he tells him like, Clarence, I guess some horse guy there, horses are gone. And then also he said he found like the what is it? Not shop hand, but I guess shop hand or horse helper guy. Stable boy. There we go. Jesus. Found a stable boy, and he's like, yeah, I didn't want to look, but it looked pretty gruesome. So then the sheriff like goes out, they go to the barn, and yeah, they find the kid like brutally murdered.
And then they go to the
go back to
the
they go
office.
to the did they go to the office first?
No, they go to the office because they're like, oh crap. And so they're checking to see if they're still there.
Yeah. They check to see what's going on there, and they find the arrow on the wall.
And so they go and talk to. There's a Native American guy. I didn't get his name.
He's the like professor, I guess.
Yeah, he's like the professor. He's really smart. He knows different territories and tribes and stuff. So he was trying to clarify, and he's like, that's not anything I've seen, but there's a story of these people. But the thing is, this is when the sheriff goes to Arthur's house, and he says, hey, your wife got stolen. And he's like freaking out, and so he's running with his little hobbly leg in socks. He's moving. He's like moving like a bat.
You said when he told Quincy or Chicory or whatever to go get the professor, you're like, oh, he's moving or whatever you said.
He's moving faster than Chicory.
Yeah, he's moving. And then you go to the Hobbly or Patrick Wilson, and I was like, no, he's moving. That dude was going on some crutches, but you didn't say. So they said that the Trogs, right?
Troglodytes, yeah.
Trogs are notorious for eating people.
If they're their moms, they rape their moms.
Yeah, they rape their moms.
They just do a horrible shit ton of stuff.
They are horrible people. So he was like, well, if they eat people, why didn't they like eat the kid, like take the kid? And the professor's like, they don't eat Negroes. They don't like Negroes.
That's bad.
So I guess they don't like the way they taste for some strange reason.
Jeffrey Dahmer said he didn't like people who had tattoos.
Yeah, I did.
He didn't like the taste of people with tattoos.
I heard about that. I think you told me that.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so he didn't.
You guys are learning a lot about serial killers today.
He didn't like to eat people with tattoos, which is crazy.
But we're kind of skipping over one of the most important things. So one of the bar hands, his name is Gizzard.
Gizzard. That's a good name, though. I like that name.
It just reminds me of turkey guts.
It's what gizzards are.
So the bar hand name
that is a kind of rude name, Gizzard. I wonder why they call him that. Because what was the other guy's name? The stable boy.
Oh, fuck if I can remember.
I can't remember what his name is.
But anyway, so they have a bunch of different names. And so this is when they all kind of decide, hey, we're going to go find these people. So they go, because there's a valley called, I think, the Starving Man's Valley or something. Yeah. And so they go as a group. So 4 people go.
Yeah,
4 people.
4.
So we have the sheriff.
Brody, or Brooder,
Chicory,
sheriff,
and Arthur. The cowboy. So all 4 of them go on their horses, and it kind of, Brooder has like the fanciest horse, and then the sheriff has a nice stable horse, and then Arthur has a nice horse, and then we get to Chicory, who has an old fucking ass horse who's missing a shoe.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he's like, eh.
So that's why he said that. That's why Broder said that.
And it was just kind of funny because they kind of keep on kind of egging on, hey, I have better shit than you kind of thing. And so that's who Brooder is, because he has...
I mean, he was all fancied out in his white suit with the vest.
And then he has a telescope. And everybody else, Chicory has a telescope, but Brooder has a
German.
So he actually got it from Germany. So they call it a German. Hey, can I use your German? No.
And it's like apparently supposed to be pretty expensive.
It's really expensive back then because it's different glass.
Probably like 5 cents.
And so this is when we get to the trip. So they're riding horses. They're on their
5-day
way
trip in 3 days.
Horses might die. Blah blah blah. All this fun stuff. And so they get there. And so on
Which
the
horses didn't die.
On the first night, this is when Bruder starts putting up bells around the camp, which is smart.
Super smart.
Which is smart. And so
and he goes off how he's smarter than everybody.
True, because you're married, he's married, your wife is dead.
He's like, I'm the only one who's not married.
So smart men don't get married. But then he asks Chicory if he is I'm gonna say this wrong, somnambulate. I don't know.
I don't know.
Somnambulate. It's just, are you a sleepwalker?
Oh,
he said it. I can't. I tried to sound it out, guys. I suck. So he asked if he's sleeping. No. What is that? Do you sleepwalk? Oh no.
Because he didn't know what the fuck it meant.
Because what they did because at this time, day and age, if you go out into the desert, there's a huge potential you're going to die. Because not only are there animals out there to fucking injure you,
There's troglodytes.
There's other people who are wanting to kill scavengers. Which, give me a second, I have not Vanguard, brigands, they said, a gang that ambushes and robs. So we learned a lot of words in this movie. Mm-hmm. And so during the night, one of the nights, I'm just kind of mesh them together. They hear something, and these two guys, they said it in the movie, I'm just going to say it, they called them Mexicans, but these guys visit, and they were like, oh, we're here, like, I'm announcing myself, and they're holding their guns at him, and he was like, okay, light a match so we can see your face. And so they lit a match, did everything they said. If you have a gun, throw it away. The guy threw his one gun away, and as they're like talking about it,
and
Bruder shoots him.
Just takes him out.
And now they're
pisses
fucked.
Off the sheriff, and so they're like pointing guns at each other, and he's like basically like, don't. He's like, if you want to judge my morals, judge them later. Don't do it now. The sheriff's like, there's nothing to judge. Like, you fucking just murder those guys. Like, and so what else is there to say?
He's like, oh, they could be lying. Most people lie. So the Bruder made the comment, we need to move. We have to have a cold camp because if there's anybody around us, like these guys were, we need to go somewhere else. And so this is kind of when all their troubles start because they pretty much pissed off the two guys' group. Mm-hmm. And so they go to a different area.
Clearly probably followed them.
Yeah, they followed them and they stole their horses. But Bruder's horse is a loyal horse who wouldn't let anybody ride her. He was like, oh, is she such a bigot like you? And and Bruder was like, no, she's just loyal. Mm-hmm. And so they like stab the horse, but it's not dead. And they run off with the other three horses. And so they wake up and...
Well, the guy's on top of Broder first.
Yeah, the guy's on top of Broder and he gets stabbed and then they shoot him and...
And they find the horse off in the distance, like just sad... moaning and groaning.
Horse. And so Bruder's really sad. He's like about to cry and he's like, thank you for your services. And then he shoots the horse, which
to stop the suffering.
Puts it out of its misery. So that is number 5, people. I gave that a gruesome death because
the horse, fuck yeah, it's a gruesome death.
That's a gruesome, sad death.
That's that's probably the saddest one.
That is the saddest one. It's like when
he had to like kill his animal. And so apparently the guy does have a heart. Even though he seems heartless, but...
Yeah. Anyway, so we move on. They pretty much now have to go on foot. And now we have to remember that Arthur, the cowboy, is injured.
Hardcore injured.
Hardcore injured. His tibia is broken. He's fucked. So he's just like... They're like, okay, Arthur, go ahead. Start walking. We'll catch up to you. And he's like, oh, I can wait. I can go. I can keep up. And they were like, no, you won't. So he gets a head start. They pack up everything. They follow him, and then he's just hobbling along.
And they actually meet up with him. He's like, hey, Arthur, you doing all right?
We're approaching you. And so they get up to him, and he was like, okay, just like pass me, it's fine, but set out 4 rocks so I know which way to go. Mm-hmm. And so he just keeps on pushing through, which he's a trooper.
Yeah, like, he's a fucking trooper. His wife was kidnapped. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, he was just like, I applaud him because he went however many miles on a broken leg.
5 days, so they had to be a shit ton of miles.
And so he was in a lot of pain. It was bad. And so during one of his the walks, he tripped and fell, and he hurt his leg really bad.
No, sorry, no. Broder says a comment, and he tries to punch him.
Okay, that's what happened.
And he twisted it and fucking broke it.
He broke it even
and it
worse.
was sticking through his skin.
Ugh, I hate that.
And you just hear a loud crack. It was.
I hate bones.
That should be one too.
That's mixed actually with that and setting of his legs, so they had to redo it.
Fuck that.
And so that's number 6.
Well, yeah,
guys.
they were talking about that they needed to amputate his leg, and he's like, "Fuck no, you are not taking my leg."
Set it. Can you set it?
He's like, "Set it," and he's like, "It is my choice. You're gonna set my leg." So. The doctor, or he guess he's like the doctor because he used to do like some stuff in the war or some shit.
He was a medic in a war.
So
Civil
he
War.
pulls out like a saw just in case, but he pulls out this nice little cute, probably all metal hammer, which is probably so dense. I mean, it's probably so fucking dense, and then
it's gonna hurt.
Oh my god! And then they're like, "All right, well, they gave him some opium again."
He's like, just enough to like.
They hold him to the ground, and I think they put something in his mouth. Thank God, so he doesn't bite his tongue off. And you just see him lift up his hammer, not even that high, and then it's the worst. So they set it, and he passes out. They walk off, and they like
leave
him there. And I'm surprised like he didn't get eaten or fucking taken or the brick or the B one.
Brigands.
Yeah, brigands didn't find him, but. So they continue on, and surprisingly, they actually finally get to.
But I want to give you another trivia word. Mm-hmm. Another. They had something. They kept on saying it over and over again. I'll take the Vanguard.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Vanguard means I'll go in front.
Oh, okay.
I
know you either mean front or back.
So in different, like if you have more people, if you're a Vanguard, it's in the middle. Mm-hmm. Mixed, like there's going to be people around you, you're going to be in the middle. But in this case, since there was only 4, he was going to take the front.
Well, 3.
Well, now 3. So they kept on saying that over and over.
They did say that to Arthur. They're like, all right,
take the Vanguard.
You take it. Because that's when they caught him doing the opium at first.
Right. So they just want to take care of him. So they get to the entrance where the
starving man's.
And this is where we have back-to-back injuries, people. So be prepared.
Yeah, this is when it gets pretty hardcore now. Because they are at the Trogs.
Like lair.
Lair.
That's a good word for it. And so this is when Bruder goes forward through the valley. Like there's 2 rocks that are really close together. And he's like, I'll throw a rock and if you don't hear from me in 30 seconds, run, go away. So
I mean, I commend him for that. Like
he sacrificed himself over and over.
Yeah, over and over.
Then he throws a rock. They're all hunky dory. They get into the fucking valley. And then all of a sudden, this is when shit hits the fan. Mm-hmm. So they, I guess, threw a rock so fucking hard at Bruder that it took his fucking hand off. I don't know what they throw. I couldn't understand.
Yeah, I didn't see what was thrown either. I think it was like I think they threw a rock to kind of like knock him out, and they threw an axe at him.
Maybe. I think that's probably one of the
one of the tomahawks. I think they threw a tomahawk at him.
And so this is number 7, folks. Bruder's hand gets chopped off.
Yeah, completely
taken off before it even starts. So they shoot 3 guys.
One Chicory gets hit with a rock in the head, or maybe he gets hit with an arrow in the head. But it took his hat off. Yeah,
it just
skins him, and then I don't know why I keep forgetting Sheriff. I don't know why I cannot remember Sheriff.
Franklin. His name's Franklin.
Franklin. He ends up getting hit with an arrow in his
shoulder.
Shoulder. Like so he goes down. And then that's when like 3 of them come running out.
Yeah, and so
3 of the Trogs come running out. They end up shooting them. But then what's his name? Broder. He's like, yeah, I am. So they like that's
right. I'm too vain.
Yeah, I'm too vain to be a cripple.
Yeah, cripple. Yeah.
So he's like, y'all go ahead. Like I'll try to lure as many here as I can because they give him the dynamite, but he doesn't even use it. I guess he doesn't have enough time. So then another Trog comes running around the corner. Sees Broder, and he's about to point his Winfield at him, and they throw a Bone Tomahawk right at his head.
And he dies.
And he is sacrificed.
And so he dies. And so this is when the sheriff and Chicory leave and go, but they get kind of ambushed as well, and so they have a fight. I'm just skipping over.
Yeah,
because
they're going back. They
were going back because there was no point because they were by themselves, and it was we don't know.
They're injured.
Yeah, they're injured. So this is when they get taken, apprehended. So I have number 8, where one of the trogs put a tomahawk in the sheriff's mouth, and what I thought they were going to do is I thought they were going to break his teeth, but they actually just slammed him on the side of the head with a rock.
Yeah, they just knocked him out.
They knocked him out.
Well, because they need food, and he's not black, so.
Great.
Well, they don't eat.
So this is when they get kidnapped. So they're not really sure what's going to happen. So they make noises which are weird, and the ropes get thrown down. They bring them up into this cave, and this is when they see Samantha and Nick.
Yeah, they found Samantha and Nick. So they actually got to where they needed to be. I thought maybe they were doing that like a ploy to maybe get in there and then start fighting and shit. But no, they just got taken.
They got taken. And so this is when they were asking Samantha, oh, how is Nick? And she's like, he's not doing well. And they're like, oh, what happened to the other dude? And she was like, he got eaten.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is when they realize the height of where they're at, which sucks. And so they are just like, fuck. Okay. And so then the troglodytes, again, I'm summing everything up. Watch it. There's more details in between, but we're already, 50 minutes in. So this is when they go into the cage where Samantha and Nick are, and they grab Nick, and they're screaming.
Be prepared, people.
Be prepared. Like, listener discretion is advised.
Yeah.
So the first, number 9, the sheriff is screaming and he's trying to get him to stop.
Yeah, he's trying to get Nick to wake up.
And he has his hand around the bar. And this is when one of the trogs uses his bone tomahawk and slices off his fingers off. So this is number 9. Okay, so I separated this one because this one's just awful. So this is when Nick is struggling. He finally wakes up. He's screaming, wake up, Nick, wake up, Nick. He doesn't wake up, but until they start scalping him. And so they scalp him, he's screaming, and then they shove his scalp into his mouth and put a spike in it to hold it in place.
Hit it in
so it stays in place. That's number 10.
I don't understand why that needed to be done.
Just for torture. It doesn't matter.
Jesus.
And so that is number 10, folks. Oi. Now we get to the fun one. So 2 of the trogs hold Nick up upside down by his legs. He is naked, mind you.
Yeah, he's naked. They took his clothes off.
They stripped him naked. You don't really see anything, but he's naked.
You see his ass.
You see his ass. And so they're holding him upside down, and this guy takes one of his bone tomahawks and cuts him in half. So they do multiple swipes at him to cut him in half, and then they pull him apart.
But you got to tell him where they're hitting him.
In his dick.
Yeah.
In his dick, the crevice, in between his legs.
And he is just hollering and screaming. And then I think by the time they hit him the 3rd time, I think he's just either passed out because he's just in so much pain or he died. I don't know.
And then
they split him in half. I'm glad you split that up because there was
like multiple gruesome things that I could not
that could not be
together.
One. That was definitely a split. I think like the scalping should be one,
then the mouth,
and then the mouth one, and then the splitting.
But it kind of was in one action, so I was like, fuck it. Okay,
oh my god, that was rough.
Now they're just like, fuck this. Okay, whatever.
I think they see the severity of where they're at.
Yeah, and so they kind of realize this. This is when it flashes back to Arthur, the cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Where he wakes up from his injury and he's like, what happened? Ugh.
Yeah, he's like remembering some dream or something. He's like, oh, shit. No, I'm out in the fucking desert.
Shit. And so but I have to give him props because he gets up after he has his leg reset and starts walking towards where they at.
Keeps trucking along.
He keeps trucking along.
Seeing the 4 rocks on the ground.
And he follows it. And then this is when he, long story short, again, I'm just kind of pushing forward. He kills a trog, 2 trogs. Because they come up because he's taking opium to get through, to get through the pain. He took a little
nap, right in the trog territory.
I thought this was a ploy to lure them closer to him.
We both thought they were ploys and they completely were not.
We're not. It was just they were dumb. And so then he makes it to the side of a mountain and he takes a nap behind a bush. And then this was when trogs missed him.
Yeah, they try to ambush him.
And so he shoots them both and then he realizes there's something glistening in his throat. And so this is number 12. he cut out the throat of a trog and he pulls it out, and it's
basically like their whistle.
It's like a kazoo.
Like their, I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, it's like their communication, like to do stuff or whatever,
Each
to
of
come.
them have like different noises.
Yeah.
And so he rips it out of his throat and he puts it in his pocket, which he uses later.
So gross.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm just reading forward. It sucks. So this is when Sheriff and Chicory... Okay, just kind of looping it together. Arthur is a badass, and he's killing people as he goes. He uses the little noise device, and he lures people out.
Yeah, to lure them out.
Kills them. I'm not writing down the Trog's deaths because they get shot. Stupid. That's not gruesome. They just get shot, and he's like, okay, this is working. I'm going to continue doing it, which it continues to work.
And it does continue to work.
And so he's taking out more people than fucking the Sheriff, Chicory, and Bruder.
And Bruder all did.
Combined.
And he's you missed this. So for one, his wife, Mrs. O'Drea, was pissed off that they told Arthur where they were and that they left a trail for him to go, because she's like, he's coming here to face like 12 or 13 of them and he's crippled and he's by himself.
And she called him all idiots.
And she called him an idiot, and they're all idiots. She's like, okay, we're doomed. So then surprisingly, he's coming here. He thought of something super smart. For one, he did not go through the cave that they first went through, which is like
calling them out,
which was like probably their like their pinch point where they can basically ambush you. He's like, yeah, let's take the high ground. So he goes around and starts calling the whistle and killing him. He finally gets into the cave and he's just taking them out left and right. And then this is when
Sheriff and Chicory have an idea.
Yeah.
So they have the flask of
opium
that he was like, yeah, I have it. So they're trying to trick the Trogs to drink it, because if you take too much of it, you die.
Yeah.
So hopefully they could take a few people out. And so they were like, num, 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 this is great.
Yeah.
And the Trog was like, give it to me. And he's like, okay, don't drink it.
Yeah, don't drink it. Drink it all, please.
Kill them. And so the three Trogs that were there, the first one drank some, but not enough to kill him. The second one drank a lot, and it was going to kill him. And the third one didn't get any, so he was not going to die.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, well, at least two of them will be out.
Two of them will be out.
And then we hear something terrible, which is awful. She mentioned, there's at least two women. They're pregnant, they're crippled, and they're blind.
Yeah, so you finally see the picture of these women, because they're just like laying on this stone bed,
crazy pregnant
and super pregnant. They took these Trogs took their legs off at the knees, and then they stuck spikes in their fucking eyeballs. So these ladies are just blind, laying there, crippled and blind, and they just get impregnated, I guess.
So they're just
incubators.
Incubators
Fucking
for babies. That's terrible. Okay, so going back, so this is number 13. So once they get upset, like once the Trogs realize, hey, they ployed us, they come back and they take the sheriff out of his cage, and he's like, fuck you, bro.
And he has a sheriff's Winfield.
And he shoots him in...
He shoots him in the arm.
He's in the arm, and then he doesn't understand how to
reload it.
And he's shaking it like, what's happening? Like, it'll work now. No, it doesn't work. And so this is when they slice open the side of his stomach.
Oh, yeah, and they put
This is number 13. They cut the sheriff open on the side, and then they took the metal flask that was in the fire and shove it inside him.
Put it inside his fucking... Those Bone Tomahawks are sharp as fuck.
Yeah, they are. And so this is when we see Arthur. He comes in and he's shooting, guns ablazing, and... then
he figures out how to reload it.
And then he shoots him in the
lung.
Yeah. And so... The sheriff has enough fight in him that he takes the bone tomahawk that was left on the side, and this is number 14, chops the toes off one of the troglodytes.
He literally took half his foot off. Half his foot off. So the trog is like about to fall over. He does fall, and that's when the sheriff gets like a second or third wind, gets up, takes the bone tomahawk, and like hacks this, like the leader's head off. And just cleanly, well, not cleanly. I mean, he
chopped it side to side.
Yeah, side to side like a tree. Ugh. Jesus.
So that was number 15. He chopped the trog's head off. So that deserved number 15.
That was number 15.
That was the last one, because that is the last time we see a gruesome death in this movie, because they get out. But
the sheriff stays behind, keeps his Winfield, and there's at least 3 more. Which when both O'Dryers or Arthur and Samantha and then Chicory leave, the sheriff stays behind. He's like, yeah, give me the gun. I'm going to try to take out the last 3. And they hear gunshots in the distance. And Chicory's just like, all right, that's 1. That's 2. And it takes like a little bit. And then you hit a 3rd one. So
he takes it because he picks up a rock because they're now out of weapons. Like,
yeah,
the dude has 1 weapon left on him, and
he's probably out of bullets.
And so he has a rock, and he's like, just in case they follow us, I got a rock. I mean, against the Bone Tomahawks, I really don't think that's gonna happen.
I think that would work.
But overall,
he drops the rock once he hears the 3 gunshots, and then that's basically where it ends. They're free. They go back to the camp, and he basically, I guess, killed. Hopefully the whole tribe, but that means the women are just going to sit there and starve to death and die.
They were probably going to die anyway.
Jesus, that is like seeing the women like that. That was fucking rough.
That they just kind of piled them up on the side. That sucked.
Those savages are like savages. Jesus, but so what's your score?
7. I thought about that. It was a 7. It was a solid 7.
I'm surprised you gave it a 7. I like that.
It had a good storyline when you got into it, but I don't like Westerns, so it lost a couple points for that.
The first,
and it was a slow start.
20 minutes was slow, a little weird, but then once they take them, you're like, okay, I know.
Once you have a storyline, you have something to follow, and it's like, okay, it was interesting. So I gave it a 7. It dropped points because there's a lot of unnecessary noise, like walking and stuff. Like, I know it's loud in the desert. I know. I just don't like this footsteps. I don't like footsteps, and so that bothered me.
It's the desert. Have you walked in the desert before?
Yes.
It's loud, isn't it?
Have you walked in the desert before?
I have. Just kidding. I have not.
I was going to wait for you to say something. No, so I'm not a Western person. My grandpa was a cowboy in Montana, so I got the cowboy shit. I'm over it. Like, he could throw a lasso. He could do all that shit. I had no interest in it. I could shoot a gun really well. I could lasso really well. I just have no desire to be a cowboy.
Oh, so y'all, I don't know if y'all like giggled or something or just like, Mom, yeah, she doesn't know how to shoot. I can... What is it? I can
attest.
Huh?
Attest.
I can attest. So wifey and I went out shooting for the first time. We both went shooting together, and because I bought her a 22 AR rifle, and we went out shooting, and she would shoot a target, and she was hitting it like pop, 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 pop. So then I was like, oh, I never shot a 22 before. Like, I want to try it. So I started shooting it, and I was nowhere near the target. I was way the fuck off. You didn't even
touch the target.
And then so what I was doing wrong, which I still do it to this day.
You have to look
apparently
through.
There is like
there's 2 scopes.
There's 2 kind of scopes on it. There's one at the very tip that has like the little kind of
V
thing pointer on it, and there's another one that's more at the back that has like a channel in it, and you're supposed to line that channel up with the front, and that's like where your aim is. Well, my dumbass was only looking at the front one. So when I'm just looking at the front one, I'm basically aiming the gun down and I'm just hitting dirt like all the time. So, and the same thing happened when I went shooting like with my pistol recently. I did the same fucking thing. But wifey from the very beginning was like lining both of them up and was shooting.
Funny. I've been using guns since I was like 4.
I've been using guns since I was like 18.
Because I lived in Wisconsin, it's a big hunting thing. I didn't have guns when I was 4. My grandparents had guns, and we would go play outside with them.
Well, good. Wow, that's cool. 4 years old playing outside with guns.
I mean, we would take our guns and shoot at red squirrels.
That's how people get shot. Anyway, but yeah, she knows how to shoot a gun really well. So anyway, I give it. I want to say an 8. 8 first pops in the mind. So, yeah.
Why is it reduced?
It's not. I never said it was a 10.
Oh. I'm surprised. You usually give everything a 10.
I mean, 10, so 10, it would 10, be a 10, but it was crazy thing is like, I mean, it doesn't take away from the movie, but it kind of does a little bit. It was somewhat a low budget film.
Because it was a film festival movie.
Yeah, it was. But the crazy thing is there's a lot of known actors in this movie. So and it was in 2015. So they're all well known. Like Kurt Russell's well known. The Conjuring was already going on at this time, I think, right? I don't know when the first Conjuring came out.
Yeah.
So it's like, all these, like a lot of these people are known. Chicory's known. The old guy's known. The guy that was the thief. Whatever his name is. David Arquette. He's well known. So it's like, it's crazy that it was kind of a low budgetly looking film. But
I think it was supposed to be in the realm of like cowboys.
Because it's like a Western, so that's probably why.
Did you know if they zoomed in on their eyes, that's called a spaghetti Western?
What do you mean?
That's like, have you ever heard of a spaghetti Western?
No.
Like early on, like whenever there's a Western movie or TV show, a lot of the times Italians like would be like the directors, or there'd be Italian actors or whatever. Like it was just very themed like that. Mm-hmm. And so whenever they would go close to their eyes, it was called spaghetti Westerns.
Oh, like the director go close to their eyes.
Like when the camera goes in their eyes and he's like, when they're about to do like a shootout or something.
Oh, because they do that a lot in like Clint Eastwood movies.
Right.
Okay.
And so I just remember that random fact and I was like, that's annoying.
Okay, well, let me take it. I'll give it a, what did I say? An 8? I'll give it a 9 now. I forgot it's supposed to be like a Western-y type film. So they can't have like all this great fucking effects and shit.
CG!
So, yeah, CG. There's like no CGI in this. I was like, 2015, there's no, but that makes sense because it's a Western.
Another reason why I hate Western movies.
Quit being a hater. But yeah, I give it a 9. It was good. Y'all should go watch
7 and a 9. So total average is an 8 for us.
Yep.
All right, we're moving on to my topic, which is definitely just as gruesome as this fucking movie. But instead of 15 injuries, we only have 10 this time around. So I am actually going to let you go first because I like the odds. So
let's do it.
We're going to count down from... Wait, actually, let me read the top. Okay, so I am going to cite this. I watched I read an article called Medieval Torture where I got off thecollector.com. So these are the top 10 ways to be tortured back in medieval times. And so we're going to go from 10 to 1. 1 being the worst. 10
Viewer discretion is advised again, ladies and gentlemen.
Still being awful.
All right, so we have crucifixion from the ancient world to the modern. Crucifixion involved being tied or nailed to a wooden beam or cross. Nails were pierced through the bone below the wrist to bear the weight of the weight of the person. It was a brilliant placement because no major blood vessels were hit, only the median nerves, which would cause the fingers to seize and the hands to flex down in a excruciating contracture.
Like that.
Yeah, I kind of figured. That's rough.
But
the feet were nailed to the vertical part of the cross, and once the legs weakened, the arms had to hold up the body, resulting in the shoulders being pulled from their sockets. The elbows and wrists would soon follow. With the arms now several inches longer, at this point the chest had to bear the body's weight, triggering respiratory problems and eventually suffocation. Holy shit.
What iconic figure got crucified?
That would be Jesus.
Praise the Lord. That's
goodness gracious. I did not know the whole thing about that.
They kind of make it prettier in the Bible.
Oh yeah, they 100% do. But now
it's
learning what it does.
Really what happens is you just get ripped apart
by your own body weight.
Which is very, very used in a lot of places. All right, so we get number 9, which is a little bit worse than crucifixion.
Well, yeah, that's why it's 9.
It's called rat torture.
Let me see if I'm right.
It's eaten alive.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
As happy as the above dancing rats are, rat torture is right up there when it comes to one of those worst ways to go. The thing about rats is that they eat through anything.
Yep.
Thus, it comes as no great surprise that humans made a torture device out of them in the ancient world. Typically, a rat was placed inside a small cage positioned against the victim's abdomen. Mm-hmm. The cage was heated from the outside, either by a candle, flame, stick, or hot coals, causing the rat to become agitated. So, how would he escape? By clawing its way into the only available soft surface, human skin.
Yep.
Quite quickly, the rat would gnaw its way into the victim's bowels, eliciting unbearable agony in the process. I'm laughing because this is awful and I hate it.
It's very awful.
This technique effectively got information out of a prisoner and played on their psyches, adding a psychological element to this torture.
Yeah, because they basically go through the adamant and they find a way out. So they like rip inside and then rip out.
And sometimes there was an alternative way just to fuck with people. They would have a cage on somebody's head and they would drop a rat in.
Jesus. Yeah, that actually happens in the movie with Tyrese and Paul Walker, rest in peace. Wasn't it Fast and the Furious?
Fuck if I know. I have never seen any of them.
I think it's it's Fast and the Furious. I think it's like one of the first ones. One of the like mob bosses in there was torturing one of the police officers, and he did it with the rat. He put a rat on there, and they put a pot over it and started heating up the metal pot. And so that's the first time I saw it. So I was like, let me see if it's the same thing.
Very medieval of them.
Yeah, right. So number 8, we have the rack, stretching the body. Another brutally famous torture device in the ancient world was the rack. It involved a table, usually wooden, with axles and levers on both ends. Do you say levers or levers?
Lever.
I say levers. Actually, no. I say levers.
I know.
Fuck.
Lever.
Levers at both ends. The victim was forced to lay down, after which leather straps belts bound by their wrists and heels. The straps had chains or ropes tied to them, which wound. I guess that's supposed to be wound over the axles. Yeah, but it looks. I want to say wound because it's spelled the same.
Learning English is hard.
Yeah, right. 100%. One or several torturers would then slowly push the levers, causing the axles to rotate and produce tension in the chains. This caused the straps to dig into the prisoner's skin and gradually stretch their body outwards. The internal physical turmoil that would have suffered is hard to swallow. Vertebrae expanded, joints, muscles, and tendons gave away. Posture changed. The rib cage pressurized the lungs. Bones shattered. Nerve endings became exposed. The pain would be nearly unimaginable. As a bonus for the especially tough, they were placed on spike axles, then stripped their backs of its flesh.
So I'm just thinking that might feel good to a certain point, and I'll be like, ooh, my back. But then after a while,
when they keep going,
ow.
Like, I'm a visual person. I would have to need to see this done because it was kind of like...
You know, we saw Addams Family.
Yeah.
Okay, remember when Morticia was strapped to the thing and the guy was twisting her and she was like, ooh.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, Morticia.
Okay,
this is one that took me a second to understand, but I understand it now. So, keel hauling, being dragged under. The term comes from the Dutch word keelhalen, meaning to drag along the keel, which is precisely what this torture method did. The sailor was stripped, tied, and suspended by a rope from the ship's mast, with weights or chains attached to their leg. The rope was looped underneath the ship, and once the sailor was released, they were dragged under the keel. The fatality rate was practically 100%. If the person did not drown, they suffered severe head trauma from being repeatedly smacked against the keel, as well as deep lacerations from the barnacles and other aquatic growth present under the hull. If they survived and were hauled back on board, death would most likely still result from wound infections. So what they did was pretty much throw them under the boat and just let the boat go, and they just kept them down there.
Dragging. Wow. That's a new one.
But that's not as bad as the other two. But that was still pretty bad.
Okay,
but it's 100% death rate.
Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of these are 100%.
If they didn't die from that, then they would die from the wounds. But I wonder if it was 100% death rate while they're in the water.
Probably not, because they said wounds.
Yeah, so it was still 100%.
Death.
The will, a severe bashing. Also known as the execution will, breaking will, or Catherine will.
I know, right? Hey,
that's creepy. This commonly used ruthless contraption in the ancient world was reserved for public executions. There are variations on the practice, but generally the prisoner was tied to a large wooden spoked wheel. The goal was not to kill them, but severely mutilate them, with the executioner starting with breaking the leg bones and then working their way up. They would do this via an iron bar, beating the victim to near death, crushing all their bones, and bludgeoning them. Once finished, the now ghastly, maimed prisoner would be repositioned on the wheel so that their heels came together at the back of their neck. They were left that way to bleed to death. Holy shit.
That's why it's number what?
Six, I think? 7? 6?
Oh, it's number 6.
Fucking A. Like, the people that can do this stuff.
Me. I probably could do it if I needed to.
Of course.
All right, so this is my favorite one.
Of course it is.
Impalement. Pierced straight through.
Oh, yeah.
Many civilizations and cultures practiced this ancient world form of torture. It involved impaling the victim with a long, sharp, and often greased stake for either capital punishment, to subdue revolts, to reprimand defectors, or wipe out military insubordination in war. This method was done in 2 ways: longitude or transversal. For longitude, up and down, the person was positioned above the spike, which was inserted part way up their rear privates, so their butts. As gravity took hold, the spike would run through them, avoiding major organs and exiting through the skin of their shoulder or neck. A person could survive this for several days. For transversal, the stake was inserted to pierce through the torso, either from the front or the back, or vice versa. So then you flip them over, and they would go through the stomach.
Yeah. Godly. Yeah, that's the one I learned about in world history class.
Fun
Fucking
times.
rough. Impalement is the name. Jesus.
So we're at number 4.
Okay, so I think this is the one that my buddy at work told me about. I think. Let me see.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
So, blood eagle. Yeah, this is it. Giving the victim wings. Yep. Oh, Jesus.
We don't need any more definitions.
Yeah,
That's
I already know this one. So this one is pretty fucking rough too. Well, yeah. It's number 4, by the way. The blood eagle ritual was first mentioned in the late Skaldic poetry, but Skaldic. Skaldic. There it is. Skaldic poetry. The victim would lie in a prone position and be kept alive on their backs. And be kept alive as their back was sliced open. Their ribs were detached from their spine, and their lungs pulled through the opening to form a pair of bloody wings. It is hard to imagine one staying conscious long enough for this to be completed. Nevertheless, if the Viking sagas are to be trusted, this technique has truly earned its spot as one of the most brutal, painful, and downright terrifying ways to die. So basically, they didn't kind of fully finish, but y'all probably get the picture. When they did that, and you put your lungs on the outside of your body, when they would breathe, it would look like wings. So they're just out there with their lungs in the back, and they're just breathing. It would just inflate. Yeah, it's fucking intense.
I'm dying. Okay, I hurt so many ways. All right, this is number 3. We're almost done, folks. Hang in there. All my weird noises in the background as you're listening. So this is a quicker way to die.
Uh-oh.
It's called molten gold, scorched from the inside. Oh. And then I put a joke on it.
Of course you did.
All right. This was potentially practiced more often than documented, especially on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean by the Romans and the Spanish Inquisition. This technique is self-explanatory. The victim would be restrained and their mouth forced open as heated gold was poured down their throats. Oh. The result would be severe damage to distal organs and the blistering of the lungs, ultimately leading to immediate death.
Oh,
my joke is,
God.
I guess they never ate a Hot Pocket right out of the microwave.
Jesus. No, they didn't. I have not heard that one.
That one hurts my
body. They
body.
would pour gold down there?
Yeah, it was funneled into their mouth and but the thing is that's a quicker death. You're going to die real fast.
But it's going to hurt.
really quick. But the thing is, you're going to die faster than any of the other ones we're talking about.
That is very true.
So I would rather.
So I guess so far out of all of them, then the
I would do that
molten
one.
one would be
That would suck.
the
But it's
best. It would. They would all suck.
just everybody go put a hot pocket in the microwave. You'll feel their pain.
Fuck, dude. All right, so we have flaying.
Oh my god.
Skinned alive.
Oh, I hate this so much.
This is number 2, folks.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. Bear with us,
I'm gonna cry.
because we're crying on the inside.
Except we're laughing nervously.
God, we haven't even gotten to number 1 yet. So
Number 1's really good.
the victim was first stripped and their hands and feet bound to stop any moment or movement. Good Lord. Let me try that one again, folks. Sorry. The victim was first stripped and their hands and feet bound to stop any movement. After this, the executioner, of course it's an executioner, probably with a mask and very big and scary. Anyway.
Probably with a mask and big and scary. I like how you're creating a world for us as we listen to how we're gonna die. Great. Awesome.
Oh my God. Like the fucking one from, what is that movie? Oh, Silent Hill. Have you seen that?
Yeah, with the guy with the big axe.
with the triangle head.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I love that movie.
Scares me. Probably that guy.
Every time I hear a tornado siren, I'm like, fuck!
The big scary axe guy is coming.
Shit! The nuns!
Shit!
Anytime it's foggy out, fuck!
We have to have some laughter in all this gruesome. Sorry, folks. So after this, the executioner would begin peeling away the individual skin with a sharp blade. Well, at least it was sharp. Often starting with the head, as this area would inflict the most suffering due to the victim still being conscious. In some instances, parts of the person's body were even boiled to make the skin softer and easier to remove.
I'm touching myself.
There were a few ways one could die from flaying: shock, blood or fluid loss, hypothermia or infection, or all the fuck the above.
I'm touching myself to make sure my skin is still on.
Goodness gracious. The time of death could also be anywhere from a few hours to a few days. Although it was considered rare in medieval times, a flayed body was a message. It's ELOQUENT.
Eloquent.
An eloquent canvas on which the punitive of the... Oh my God.
Do you want me to read that last
Can
sentence?
you read that last sentence? Like...
Although it was considered rare in medieval times, the flayed body was a message, an eloquent canvas on which the punitive of the secular authority may be written.
I have no clue what any of that fucking
So
means.
it was just a message saying, don't fuck with us.
Got it.
So there's a funny story. If anybody's watched Malcolm in the Middle, one of the middle sons, Reese, he got really bad sunburn, and his goal was to peel his full body in one piece, and he did.
Oh, nice.
So that's
Pretty. That's kind of the same thing, just not nearly as painful.
All right, folks. Thank you for hanging in. We're on the number one, and it's called the Roman candle.
Oh my God.
The ancient world's ultimate torture method. Hey,
honey boo boo kitty fuck.
alrighty. History is filled with ruthless and psychopathic figures, and the Roman ruler Nero is one of them. He hated Christians so much that he used them as human candles or torches for his garden parties. First, the victims were tied and nailed to tall stakes. Then, flammable liquid was poured over them before they were set alight. The fire started at the feet to prolong their suffering. Whether the Christians had rebelled against the state or not, this was a monstrous way to go. It reflects how barbaric punishments were in antiquity and how they were often born of man's vicious ego and this thirst to dominate what he considered a lowlier populace. So it's actually really true, because another thing I'm afraid of is randomly human combusting. And it's actually very, very true, because your body is conducted of fat. And so once your body starts burning, it continues to burn because your fat is fuel for the fire.
True. So, never mind. That would be mean.
The end. How would you guys do?
I don't know if that was number one for me. I think there was other ones that were.
I think flaying the skin hurt me.
I think there was another ones that were a lot worse than
But this one I think
one.
was more so because of Nero. That was his way of doing it, and he was like the number one douchebag.
Really?
Pretty much.
Damn, he really did not like Christians, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How
He
would
clearly used it for his dinner parties.
Yeah, how would he determine if they were a Christian?
I don't think he cared.
He was just like, "Oh, you're a Christian. I'm gonna burn
Bitch.
you." Jesus.
You light up my world.
Wow.
It was funny. You didn't laugh at all. You light up my world.
I do get it. I'm reading torture stuff.
Okay. So what's your number? What's your number one way to die?
It's either impalement or the wheel are my number ones.
Like worst way you don't want to go, or the way you would want to go?
No, none of them. What? Zero.
So
any of them.
The way I would want to go if I had to choose would be the molten gold, because that's like I want to die faster. I think the bird one, the wings one.
Yeah, the
where they pull your lungs
blood
out.
Eagle. I mean, that's like for one, like slice your back, break your fucking rib cage from your spine, and pull your fucking lungs out. Like, what?
I hate that so much.
That is insane.
Who thought of that?
Yeah, right? It's like, how can? I got an idea.
I can do this. No.
Jesus. Yeah,
Okay.
If I had to pick one, it would probably be
Molten gold.
the gold, because apparently that's like the quickest one.
Not the rat one. The rat one would be awful too.
I think probably out of all of them, the rat is probably the least like gruesome. I think.
Right. Because they have so many rats out there. Like okay.
Crucifixion, like that one was number 10, but that sounds fucking rough. Like anything that has your own body weight, you're basically like kind of doing it to yourself.
Right. And so they're like, I didn't kill you. You killed yourself.
Yeah, you killed yourself, bud. All I did was nail you.
I'm still going to heaven.
Like,
what's up?
that is, so the impalement and the crucifixion, those are just
slow and painful.
Yeah.
Days.
And then, but I think the will, that one, like they said they literally break every bone in your body.
All right, folks. We're going to stop talking about this because my body hurts.
Sorry, folks. That was great.
It was so great.
So great.
All right. So that is our show. I hope you're still listening.
This is probably the longest one, too. Sorry about that.
Longest and most gruesome.
Yeah, longest and most...
Oh, 121. No.
Yeah, 127, but...
Okay. Well, I can't see that.
Yeah, so, but I hope y'all definitely enjoyed it. It was an interesting one. Normally try to like do a
happy versus
happy and
scary.
then deathy or scary and happy, but this one we just went no holds
Balls
barred
to the wall.
and then just did gruesome
to the window,
to the balls, get ripped off my body.
All right, so next episode we are looking at my movie and Ty's topic. So we are going to be watching Black as Night. This one is found on Amazon Prime and Redbox. So you should be able to watch it there. It looks pretty good. I wanted to watch something else. But Ty didn't want. He bitched at me for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and then I stopped listening about a second in.
Like half a second in.
I wanted to do Back to the Future. So if anybody's listening to this and they're like, "Fuck you, Ty, let her do Back to the Future," write us in. I will yell at him.
And if that's the case, then we will do Back to the Future.
Because it's an oldie but a goodie, and I haven't seen it in a long time, and it'd be nice to watch it because it's not scary. And
it is scary.
And
it is death-filled.
Injury.
It is injury.
Okay. So Black as Night.
And topic is what again?
Reincarnation stories.
Yeah, that one.
So we have a good reincarnation stories. That's what we're going to be covering as a topic. Please do your homework, watch the movie, look up some stories because we're going to be telling them. They're not going to be our stories, which I've already told you last time. But I'll be looking up. I'll do the research because Ty does shit. But that's it for us today. How can you reach us? So in a couple episodes, we're Not Qualified, which is the episode where we read your shit. So if you have any confessions, any stories, any advice questions, pretty much anything, send it in. Be like, I wonder about this shit. Why does this happen? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I believe in aliens. I've seen one. What do you think?
Great. So send it in. You can reach us at inforthenight69@gmail.com, or you can reach us at our website at inforthenightpodcast.com and click on that contact button, and then you can send it there as well. What else can you find on our website, Ty?
And also not going to go into super detail because, I mean, everyone knows what merchandise is and Patreon is. So definitely check those out. The best way to
grow our podcast
is word of mouth. So just getting a t-shirt or, a coffee cup if you like coffee in the morning, or we have joggers on there. Just, try to support the cause and wear the merch and because I've wore a couple of shirts like my veterinarian, like, oh, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's my wife and I podcast. Wait, y'all got a podcast? And then you kind of like go on from there. So, people like surprisingly love to listen to podcasts, and I did not know how big it was because the more and more people we talk to about it, they're like, oh shit, I love podcasts. So then they want to like know about it. And I'm like, what? I did not know it was that big.
He doesn't listen to me.
I don't listen to podcasts. I mean, I listen to mine and the one that wifey plays in a car. This is why we drink or some shit like that. This is why
we drink.
And it's surprisingly like I get into it when I'm listening to it, but I don't go out of my way to do it. So,
So good job, ladies.
Yeah.
And actually, good job, they babies.
So merch and Patreon, check that out on our page, and appreciate all the likes and reviews we've gotten. If you haven't done it, please continue.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
That is probably like our most major thing we need. We want to grow. We want to start trying to do video podcasts just so y'all can see our facial expressions and because we make some funny faces.
Right there. That's it.
And right there, yeah. See, exactly.
So when you just see how much I hate Ty visually instead of just me having to say it over
and then
over
explain
again.
what happened. So, but yeah, we hope we gave y'all an excuse to stay in for tonight. And until next time,
peace out.